Hello everybody, my name's Richard Watson and this is Anglais the Easy Way. Today I'd like to help you to build up a toolkit of techniques and skills, and we're going to look at workaround solutions. Workaround solutions are solutions to get around a problem in any situation. It's not the ideal way of doing it, it's not the perfect way, but it works because you work around a problem. So we've all had this situation, you're in the middle of a conversation, you're flowing, you're making your point, and suddenly you hit a wall. Your brain freezes because you're looking for one specific complex word or a particular grammatical structure that you are not sure of. You can see it in your native language, but it's stuck behind a locked door in your English brain. So what do? You stop dead. You look at the ceiling. You start to feel flustered. You say, and you go hunting for it. And while you're hunting, the momentum of the conversation dies. You look stressed, and the person you're talking to is just sitting there waiting. Now, when this happens, most people think, I have to memorize more words. But it's not. Problem isn't your vocabulary size. The problem is your navigation. Think of it like a GPS. There's a massive myth that high-status speakers always pull out the perfect complex word every time. They don't. The difference between a really good fluent speaker and someone who struggles isn't the number of words, although that helps. It's how fast they can find an alternative route when the main road is blocked. That's why we like using GPS systems. If you miss a turnoff, you don't have to worry. It just recalibrates for you and off you go again. So think of your language like that. If a GPS system encounters a closed road, it doesn't shut down. It doesn't throw its hands up in the air or stop moving. It just instantly calculates another route. It finds a side street and it keeps you moving towards your destination. That's what you need to do with your English. You need to stop hunting for the perfect word under pressure and start paraphrasing. Paraphrasing isn't a sign of weakness. It's an elite level strategy. It means taking a complex concept you can't remember and breaking it down into simple, high-frequency words that you do know and you can find whenever you want. Let's have a look. Here's the freeze. We need to, how do you say, rentable, make it, that's a terrible way of doing it. How about this? We need to find a way to make sure this actually brings in more money than we're spending. It's not an easy sentence, but it's made up of easy elements. We didn't use fancy jargon, just basic words delivered with conviction. So how do you actually do this live without panicking? Well, you need to work on it. You need to work on your skills. And you need to automate the phrases that you use. When the exact word vanishes, don't freeze. Just grab one of these 10 sentences and build a bridge to your thought. Here's the first one. For situations. You know the situation where, for example, if you forget the word bureaucracy, you know the situation where you need 5 managers to sign a paper just to buy a pen? When you're talking about objects or tools, you know the thing you use to, if you forget the word corkscrew, you know the thing you use to open a bottle of wine. For people and for roles, it's a person who. If you forget the word tenant, it's a person who pays to live in an apartment. For description, it's a kind of, if you forget the word mansion, it's a kind of massive luxury house. For visuals, you know the thing you see when, if you forget the word reluctant, it's basically the opposite of motivated. For systems, it's a process where, for example, if you forget onboarding, it's the process where you welcome a new employee to the company. For feelings or states, it's that feeling when you, if you forgot homesick, it's that feeling when you miss your own country. For locations, it's the place where they, or where you, if you forget a warehouse, it's the big place where they store all the stock before shipping. And for actions, it's what happens when you, if you forget the word merge, it's what happens when 2 companies join together to become one. Each of these expressions gives your brain a couple of seconds to think while you're still speaking. You keep control of the microphone. The rhythm remains steady, and usually the other person will understand you so perfectly that they'll naturally drop the word into the conversation for you. So here's your mission for the week, to practice taking detours like this. The next time you're speaking English and you feel that familiar wall coming up, that split second of panic where a specific word is unfindable, don't freeze. Don't close your eyes, don't start screaming or panicking, and don't ask the other person to give you the word or to translate. Take a breath, maintain eye contact, and pick up one of those expressions. You know, the thing that, well, it's the opposite of use 3 or 4 simple words instead of one complex one and keep the momentum of the conversation going. Now, this may seem difficult, but remember, it's like all skills. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes and the more natural it feels. So stop letting a single missing word hijack your confidence. Get used to doing detours and keep the conversation moving. Thanks. I'll catch you next week. This is Richard Watson. Don't forget to subscribe.